And so here we go again, guys. It is Sunday morning indeed. Can you believe it? We are here yet again, and it is a start of a new week. We're doing things a bit differently this morning. I have had a bit of a rough week in trying to get things organised, and I knew that my Sunday this week, as in today, this Sunday, was going to be a little bit chaotic. We're changing things up at our house. We've got some stuff going on. So I'm actually recording from home this week, and you may hear a few things that suggest that I have a family life. I'm sitting here right now. I've got bacon eggs in front of me. Doesn't happen too often. My husband has made this for me. I've got a smoothie. I've got all things happening because I just went, no, not going to happen. I can't make it work this week. So we'll get a little bit organised differently. I've just rearranged how I'm going to do stuff. So welcome to my breakfast table. I am sitting here. I will be munching away at different times this morning while you are probably doing the same at your house. So we can have breakfast together, hey? Catch up for breakfast. What can I say? It pretty much is that anyway. But yes, guys, before we came onto air, we were, as in you and I, hanging out together. We were listening to Mariah Peters with Brave. And that's actually kind of what I want to urge you guys to do this morning. Be brave. And if things are not going right, like I've suggested might be the case for me this morning, I want to encourage you to find ways to get around it. Push through, ensure that God is seen in it. Make sure you can give him the opportunity to do his thing. And be brave. Step out. Share some love with some friends. Perhaps it might be a spouse. It is Valentine's Day this week, so I guess that's a good start. Share some kindness. Kindness goes a long way. Share joy. Share peace. Perhaps somebody's having a bit of a turbulent time and they just need to experience peace, and you may be the reason they can do so. So I encourage you, be mindful of those in your world who are around you at the moment who might be needing that, might be just needing those words of encouragement, and you can certainly offer that. Guys, we're talking this morning about something that many of us have, sadly, yes it is sadly, many of us have been exposed to in our lives, and it is church hurt. It's one of those things I think we can't dance around. We have to acknowledge that we get things wrong from time to time because we happen to be human, and unfortunately that means that we don't always get it right. We don't make smart calls. We don't say things we should be saying, or we don't. Well, actually, on the flip side of that is we do say when we don't need to be saying things. We can put our foot in it and kind of sort of slip up and go, whoops, that was not how I meant it to be. But my point is, guys, that we are human and we are going to get things wrong. Some things are more serious than others. Obviously, we can see that from a historical perspective. And we need to be, we need to be on guard ourselves. We need to be mindful of how we handle things so that we can do our best to avoid others being impacted by church hurt. But also, if we are experiencing church hurt ourselves, we've got a responsibility in how we respond to that. And so that's where we're headed. Stick with me this morning as we explore this whole concept of church hurt a little bit further to what we explored last week, and have some breakfast with me while we're doing that. I'm not sure if you got bacon and eggs, but I'm about to enjoy this. So I'll see you guys in a little bit after I've finished taking my first few mouthfuls, and I'll be back soon. All right, see you soon, guys. Hey, welcome back, Coasties. That was Redemption Song by Apollo Ltd. Welcome to Rhema Central Coast. Guys, I've got to tell you, I'm doing something a little bit different again this morning. I'm recording from home today. It's been a bit of a chaotic week, so nothing has gone to plan. If you knew the amount of hurdles that I've had to kind of work through this week to get to that point. Yeah, anyway, my point is, you may hear me doing life just like you're probably doing life there. I have got my breakfast in front of me. I'm going to be slowly chipping away at that as I can. My husband made me bacon and eggs and said, get home. So you not forcefully, obviously, but he's like, you've got some bacon and eggs waiting for you. And I'm like, yeah, I was out for a little bit, and I went, no, I'm going home, and we'll do this together. We can do breakfast together. But yeah, I hope your breakfast is as good as mine. Mine tastes even better because I didn't have to cook it. I do like that. Guys, church hurt. That's where we're headed this morning. But before we do that, I want to just explain to you. Not really explain. I just want to kind of just go through something with you guys that is particularly relevant to what's happening right now. It's February, and that's a pretty important time of the year for us here at Rhema. So why? Why is that? Well, let me just get to it. It kind of goes back. So February 25, we actually launched our reimagined monthly donor program, and we called it Legacy Builders. Really, it's hard to believe that's a whole 12 months ago. We've been so blessed by your response to this God-inspired shift in direction for funding Rhema.cc, Rhema CC. Giving by our monthly donors has actually risen. If you look back at how we were getting monthly sort of membership, if you like, from December 24, we were getting about 2,000 a month, and December 25, it had come up to almost 7,500, which is a massive difference. It's really encouraging. So if you're a legacy builder, we want to say thank you. You are a blessing to Rhema CC and ultimately through like the whole community. We also need to emphasize that we need to continue to grow legacy builders to be more stable financially and less reliant on major appeals and the occasional random donation that we receive. Realistically, we need to reach between 12,000 and 15,000 per month by the end of 2026. So to kick that off, we'd love to see 28 people become new legacy builders in February. Now, if you're not a legacy builder, we want to encourage you, we want to ask you to prayerfully consider becoming one this month. Commit to whatever amount you feel led to give. Obviously, it's between you and God. And if you are already a legacy builder, could you consider raising your commitment? Even a small increase is going to help, and it's always good to ask, should I be giving more? Now, what you guys have done in the last year has been fabulous, but it's not the time to rest. It's time to keep pushing, dig deeper, and ultimately see victories won for the generations to come, the ones after us. Now, as an incentive, everyone who becomes a new legacy builder or increases their commitment this month will go into the draw to win an Alexa Echo Pop smart speaker. To become a legacy builder, call 43674042 or visit rhema.cc. Anything you can offer is really helpful. All right, back to business on what we are covering this Sunday morning. Now, church hurt, it's a big deal. We acknowledge that. We realize that it's a real thing. People have been hurt or completely damaged by things that have taken place within the church. What do we do about it? Well, pretty much it starts with us as individuals. What sort of accountability do we have in terms of how we treat other people? What sort of things do we need to be mindful of in how we navigate other people? I want to start with an aspect of judgment. Now let's get to the heart. Let's get to the heart of everything that we do. We can be driven by stuff that is not of God. We can be driven by power. We can be driven by deceit. We can be driven by, I think jealousy can be a big part of it, but power in a lot of ways is a massive thing. Now, people say finances, money, if you like, and power have some of the biggest holds or the biggest hold on how we do society. I would agree that is a very true statement. That's my personal opinion. I think that we can be controlled or manipulated by those two things, and we have to be mindful of it. But I also think our own sense of judgment plays a massive part in how we do life outside of the church and inside the church. Now, I want to emphasize here two different ways of saying something. Now, these might be similar to what your internal dialogue, the sort of things that you might hear playing out in your own mind every so often. There can be, if we are talking about other people that we see doing things, we may be hearing these things that are like, why are they doing that? As if you would do, why are they doing, that's ridiculous. Why are they doing that? Or, and this is what I think God wants us to be leaning into, we can be hearing this. Why are they doing that? Why? What's going on for them? Why are they doing that? Because when we develop empathy and compassion for other people, when we start to see them as people and not a sense of, I've got to own how they do things or how they see things, something shifts. we start to see them as people and we develop compassion for them. We develop a need to protect them. We develop a need to want to see them empowered, to see them lifted to the next level of who they are designed to be. And guys, I just want to stop there for 2 seconds and say, if you are someone this morning who is questioning whether God has made a mistake in how he's made you, no, he does not make mistakes. He doesn't make mistakes. So if other people are judging you and making you feel belittled or little, he doesn't make mistakes, guys. He just doesn't make mistakes. But to get back, if you're somebody who deals with these thoughts that are judgmental in heart, I encourage you, if you are a God-loving person, get your hands out, put them up to the skies, or perhaps find yourself in a place where you can sit, kneel before God and say something's got to change because my heart is not right now. I'm not thinking like you, I'm thinking like the world. I want to condemn people instead of lifting them up. Speak life into each other. If we're talking church hurt on a minimal level, on a level that says, I've just said something or I've said something that's really going to hurt people, this is a great way to start. Check yourself in. Where is your heart? Where are your judgments? And how are you going to flip them to have a heart that is a heart of love, of compassion, of devotion, to have a heart that lifts that person up to Jesus and says, he didn't make a mistake when he created you. Yeah, we're all human. We make mistakes. We make stupid choices. But most of the time it's driven by something else. And as I said, the compassion, the empathy, that is all understood and valued so much more when we can see people as people. I'm going to hold it there. Alrighty guys, welcome back. That was all this Future by United. Good morning and welcome to Sunday. It is a fantastic opportunity, as I said earlier this morning, for you guys to get up and share Jesus with some people in your life. You can do that. There are so many ways that you can do that. Offering love, peace, joy, kindness. They're all great ways, great avenues to be able to share who Jesus is and the fact that he is working in your life to share it with those amongst you, neighbours, friends, family, doesn't matter. Just show those things and you'll be able to show that God is doing some good stuff in your life and that is something that they probably want or need. Put that thinking cap on and work out how you can reach those people in your life just to share a little bit about Jesus with them. Guys, we are here on a Sunday morning. And for those of you who don't know me, I'm Lindy, and we often talk about pretty interesting, different aspects of society or different aspects of just doing day-to-day life. Today, as well as last week, we are covering an issue that's it's quite heavy in a lot of contexts, and it's a real thing. It's church hurt. And I would say that many of us have been exposed to that in some way or another. Now, we started last little segment talking about church hurt and how we can be mindful of our part in how we do that. Now, church hurt, I'm really going to cover it on a minimal level at this stage because this is kind of the basics or the foundations of it. We're talking about guarding your tongue, to be protective, to be able to look at people without judgment, to just see them as somebody who Jesus loves. Jesus loves them. And we've got to learn to work out even the difficult people who, they might do our head in. We've got to work out how we can love them, best understand them, and best nurture them to become more and more of who Jesus wants them to be. The other perspective that I want to cover in this segment is actually along the lines of us, as in those of us who have been hurt by the church or other Christian people. It's a big one, guys, to give life a go again when you have been hurt. I will not take those words back. It is really hard to step out and move past hurt. Now, obviously, church hurt, there's varying levels of what that hurt can look like. And I don't want to be disrespectful to those who have been seriously damaged by hurts the church have caused, particularly things like abuse. I'm going to be very gentle and be very respectful with how I navigate that because I know that I don't know who's in your car or your house at the moment as you're listening. But I want to say that I do acknowledge that these things happen. So today, while I'm just sort of dancing around stuff, at this stage at least, I may get stuff into heavier things later on depending on time. Today I want to acknowledge that, I know that there have been some serious things people have been exposed to through the church that have had some serious consequences, and they're damaging. They are really, really damaging. But I'm talking surface level, it is surface level, but I'm talking about those things today that don't go too deep but can still really hurt. They can be the things that others have said to us or said about us, the rumours. They can be things that have been, accusations that have been made. I want to encourage you, if you have been exposed to that, to keep pushing through it. God is not the ones that cause these painful things to be said. God is not the reason for that. People being people say and do hurtful things, no doubt about it. But I want to encourage you to keep looking at Jesus. Now, this is one thing that I've been echoing the last few weeks. Keep going to Jesus. Keep asking him how to move through the things that other people have said or done. Keep asking him if there is an element of your walk where you need to be brave and confront some of those things, because that might be a reality as well. Seek him first. We're told, love God. First priority. He's your first priority. That's what I can say. And his kindness allows you to be able to walk step by step by step in how you can move through the painful stuff. Perhaps God is developing you through the things that have been said or done, and perhaps he's at work amongst it, even though you can't make sense of it right now. We are promised that God is a God who uses all things for his good. He's on it, okay? I promise you that. But what does that mean for you in your day-to-day? It means firstly deciding not to let this stuff hold you. It means firstly acknowledging that it does hurt, yes, but deciding to let it go. And that might mean tears, that might mean chucking tantrums. It doesn't matter what it is. But it starts with the truth that you acknowledge that this person or this situation caused you hurt, and it's time to move through it. Secondly, I would say just make sure you pray every step of the way, because God may be calling you to do things that you don't expect. For me, that meant turning up on the doorstep of someone and just saying, hey, I don't want to be bitter anymore. Let's talk this through. I don't want to feel this way about this situation anymore. I've been through experiences where people who I felt really should have been doing something didn't work it out how I needed it to be worked out. And it was hard. Believe me, it was hard. But I had to leave it with God. Once I was ready to get past all the emotions that I was dealing with and allow sanity to kick in and go, okay, God first, emotions later, let's work this out. Your situation is going to be different to mine. But stick with it, keep praying through it, and recognise that you have a part to play in the healing of church hurt. And welcome back, Coasties. That was All In by Commando. Now, I've got to tell you guys, I am recording this morning from home. So it's probably a little bit echoey, a bit more echoey than normal. And I have probably got homey things happening. At the moment, I can hear cicadas going off in the background. It's driving me crazy. I have had trucks flying past. It's been one of those mornings where you can just get, okay, she's at home, she's doing a thing. Just to give you that inside info in case you're thinking, where is she? Yeah, I'm at home, and it was not going to play out this week. It was just one of those, it's been a few weeks like that each week actually. It's been like, how is this happening? Having said that, I really love hanging out with you guys on a Sunday morning, so we will make it work in whatever context we can. Guys, we are talking church hurt. We've been talking church hurt last week and this week as well, possibly next week. But we are talking church hurt, and we are talking big things. Actually, we've been talking about the accountability that we have to each other in terms of looking at each other with empathy and with a gentleness, and just like Jesus loves that person. We've been talking about our own sort of hurdles in how we get back to forgiving people if we have been hurt by other people, and pushing through that, and the call that God has placed on us to keep pushing through and pursuing, the developing of the church, even when we have been hurt. Every one of us have an individual part to play. And that sometimes means going to those really difficult places. Going to God first, then going to the situation or the issue and actually dealing with it. Now, I want to read some of the things that are not helping the church. Aussie couple at centre of $1.3 million US mega church fund scandal. Have I read it? No, I haven't. Submit to your husbands. Women told to endure domestic violence in the name of God. That was from the ABC as well. These are all things that were in our Australian sort of setting that paint the picture of what the church is supposed to be like or is like for those who don't have anything to do with Christianity or the faith. If I was not someone who was being a part of the church, you bet I'd look at those and think, why would I choose to be a part of this? What does it say? It says the church has got things wrong. It says the church is filled with people who have got things wrong, who have somehow allowed the stuff that is not of God to drive them. Whether that be power, that be money, that be lust, whatever. This is the challenge for us. We've got to knock this stuff on the head straight up. Acknowledge what is driving stuff, bring it down, and eventually hopefully flip the tables where we get to a point where the only things that are put out there on social media or media are things to highlight what the church is doing that is good. That the church is stretching their hands out more and more to feed those who have not been fed. That the church is stepping up and providing housing. That the church is stepping up and becoming a place where people can fall apart. This is what the church is supposed to be. And that those hurts will not be misconstrued. They will not be taken to a place where evil can be taken and twisted and it can become something that it's not meant to be. These things that I have read to you on these headlines in recent years highlight how wrong we have got it. How are we going to keep things safe? We're going to pray. We're going to make sure we pray well. And I encourage you this morning to keep your church, the church as well, the whole church, in your prayers, because we are one body and we are supposed to fight together in exercising all that is good, not what is going to bring attention to the bad. This stuff gets people talking and it makes it so hard for those who are trying to do life well and to ensure that the church is seen in a positive light. It unravels so much of the good. If we know of stuff that is happening, guys, that is not of God, is not appropriate for the church, we've got to speak up. Yes, there are ways to do it. Go to your pastors, go to your church elders, go to them, speak to them, put it out there, tell them what is taking place. And if they are people who are following biblical principle, they will take it seriously and they will jump on it. Because that is what we are trying to do. We've got to flip the switch. Got to do things right. Anyway, I am going to leave it there because this is big. This is the stuff that impacts church hurt. Obviously, those who are in these circumstances or these situations that I have highlighted here, but also the other side of that and the flow on from that is that this is what our world is exposed to when they hear about the church. We don't want that. We want good. We want love. We want joy. We want peace. We want kindness. We want goodness. We want people who demonstrate self-control. We want it all. That's good. And that means we have to jump on everything that isn't and put our hand up and say, not here. Not here. And welcome back, Coasties. This is our final point together this morning. I do know that the last 3 hours have been rather heavy in terms of just the stuff we've been talking about. It's not been as heavy as what I thought it could have been. So I don't know if we'll cover that stuff more so next week or not. I'm just going to just sit on it and pray about it and see where we go. But I do want to acknowledge that church hurt is one of those things that can be on so many different levels. It can be very minuscule. It can be something that is just like, oh, ouch, that hurt. Or it can be a incredible, just some of the things that people have been exposed to are just horrendous. And for you, if you are somebody who has been, can I just say I'm so sorry. I am so sorry that you have been hurt and damaged the way that you have been. And I say that on behalf of every person who truly loves Jesus and truly knows that what has happened to you. I'm speaking in code here, but I'm sure there's lots of people out there that can relate to to this sort of coded talk of where I'm going with stuff. Every person who loves Jesus is disgusted by the things that have happened and played out amongst our churches on a grander scale. And we are sorry. We are so, so sorry that you have, or you know, somebody who's been exposed to this abuse or mishandling. I want to just leave you with a few statistics that I found in terms of specifically the church hurt on the grander scale as I was talking. If we look at, I was just reading it, I'm just finding what it is. So if we look at child abuse in religious settings, and a finding in 2024 sadly saw that 1 in 250 Australians have been sexually abused during childhood by a leader or other adult in a religious organisation. And if we look at this same thing, I was actually just found on, let me just find where I found it, cathnews.com. There was an analysis put together it was published by the Child Abuse and Neglect. This particular thing, they found that boys experienced more sexual abuse. That was 0.8% than girls, which was 0.1%. And this was sadly by religious perpetrators, and children were typically aged between 7 and 11 when this first occurred. Again, I am disgusted, and I know many people are disgusted by this truth, that this stuff took place within a church context. You know, you see these things and you think, I know why people are scared of the church, because this stuff is disgusting. This should never have been a part of our history. The church is supposed to be a place where people are safe, where people come to be rescued from the torment of other things. And ideally, the church should be knocking it on its head, even in those settings where these things have played out. You know, we were supposed to be a voice to those who don't have a voice. We're supposed to be there to defend, to fight for justice, to protect. These things should not have been a part of our history. And again, I just want to say to those of you who have been exposed to that, or you know of somebody who has been, I am deeply sorry. I do want to leave you guys with some numbers just in case something has been triggered for you this morning. But I want to encourage you, I want to just assure you that the church from 2026, from this very day, 2026, into forever, we are doing our best to make sure, and I hope we always do, to make sure your children are safe, your grandchildren are safe, that you are safe. I am so sorry for the hurt that you have experienced. My prayer is that you can find healing, and my prayer is that you can, as you are ready, get back involved in whatever context of church you can, that you can become the light to the world to those who are suffering just like you were at one point, or your loved one was at one point. You can become that hope that they are looking for. Now, if you're somebody who this morning that these things have kind of, you know, they might have got to you in some way, I want to leave you with a few phone numbers just in case. I hope and pray that it's actually been more of a positive thing. My whole purpose for doing this is to basically say what happened in those periods of time where people have been hurt by the church was not okay. They've never been okay. And we've got to do things better. That's the whole kind of foundation of where we're going this morning. And I hope and pray you can move to a place where you can see that there is hope. But yes, as I said, I want to leave you with some phone numbers. Let me just grab those for you. Okay, so there are some options. We've got, obviously, 1-800-RESPECT is a great place. If you are someone who is experiencing any kind of, this one's more supposed to be for domestic and family violence, but they can certainly put you into a place where you can contact people who will be of support. We also have Lifeline is 131114. If you are someone who has been, you know, if you're in a church and you feel like you are sort of in that elder abuse section, you might be something may have happened as an older person. Contact number for you is 1-800-651-192. And let me just specifically look to ensure you guys can get the help that you need if there is something that has been triggered for you this morning. And that is such an important part of where we are at. Okay, there is a There's also a organisation called Towards Healing, and in New South Wales that number is 1300 369 977. Brave Hearts, that could be another point for you. I actually think I've had to do some stuff with them in the past. 1800 272 831. There are a long list of specific denominations. If you Google their phone numbers and all that sort of stuff as well, you can find that too. But yeah, this is an important thing. Make sure you jump on it if you do need the help that is related to this stuff. It's heavy, but there is hope. I'm going to leave it there, guys. I hope and pray you have a great week. I hope and pray you experience the presence and the peace of God, particularly if you are someone who's been exposed to this stuff. It is real, it's powerful, and it does not have to hold you for any longer. There is hope, there is peace ahead. But yeah, I hope and pray that you understand that. The church is looking up, we're doing things better, and yeah, I hope you are open to seeing that and being a part of it. All right, I'm out of here. Have a great week. I'll see you guys next Sunday, and yeah, looking forward to it. See you guys.